I'm Johnny Price in Greenville, South Carolina, and this is another of our Talking Head film analyses, where we're not so much concerned with how good a movie might be, as we are with the ideas that come out of the movie. The Avengers burst out of its opening weekend by breaking all sorts of box office records. Written and directed by Joss Whedon of Buffy the Vampire Slayer and Firefly fame. As of this recording, it is pulling in $800 million plus worth of box office receipts worldwide. This is a major hit. Starring Robert Downey Jr., Chris Evans, Mark Ruffalo, Chris Hemsworth, Scarlett Johansson, Jeremy Renner, and Samuel L. Jackson as the Marvel superheroes Iron Man, Captain America, the Hulk, Thor, Black Widow, Hawkeye, and Nick Fury. This is a popcorn movie where you just sit back and enjoy the ride. And it is a great ride. But as you take the ride, you may pick up on some allusions to significant themes in philosophy, literature, history, theology, and current events. Now, those who are familiar with the Marvel superhero universe are aware that the arch-villain Loki, played by Tom Hiddleston, is based upon the mythological Norse god of the same name. However, the Tesseract, that energy pulsing cube, which enables Loki and his horde of warriors to open up a portal from which and through which they can travel from their world to ours, in order to invade our world, incidentally. The Tesseract was first introduced in Madeleine L'Engle's classic novel, published 50 years ago in 1962, the winner of the Newbery Medal, A Wrinkle in Time. Now, if I'm wrong, and if the concept of the Tesseract predates Ms. L'Engle's work, will you please leave a comment and let me know? Now, in addition to that literary allusion, you also have a literary and philosophical allusion when Loki says he has come to free the people on Earth from freedom. If you're familiar with it, you will hear echoes of the Grand Inquisitor, which many people say is the greatest chapter in the greatest novel ever written, The Brothers Karamazov by Fyodor Dostoevsky. In that chapter, an elderly cardinal, the Grand Inquisitor, tells Christ that the church has corrected his work. The Inquisitor says, "We shall persuade them," referring to the people, "we shall persuade them that they will only become free when they renounce their freedom to us and submit to us." Well, it is in that spirit that Loki first arrives on Earth and commands a cowering crowd to kneel before me. And he goes on to say, "Is that not your natural state? It's the unspoken truth of humanity that you crave subjugation. The bright lure of freedom diminishes your life's joy in a mad scramble for power, for identity. You were made to be ruled. In the end, you will always kneel. It is at this point that an historical allusion is introduced. For an elderly Jewish man stands up in the middle of the crowd and refuses to kneel. He says that he will not, quote, "not to men like you." Loki says, "There are no men like me." To which the elderly gentleman replies, "There are always men like you." Loki is just about to strike him down dead when Captain America intervenes and saves him. Of course, in World War II, it was the intervention of the Allies, led predominantly by America, that put a stop to the attempted conquest made by Germany and Japan. Japan, of course, having an emperor who saw himself as a god. Later in the film, when discussing attacking Loki, Black Widow says, "But he's a god." To which Captain America responds, "Ma'am, there's only one God, and I'm pretty sure he doesn't look like that." Then towards the end, Loki, confronted by the Hulk, declares, "I am a god, you dull creature, and I will not be bullied by..." At which point the Hulk grabs Loki by the legs and smashes him on the floor, back and forth, repeatedly, over and over again, like a rag doll, leaving Loki lying stunned on the cracked floor. And the Hulk walks away muttering, "Puny God." Of course, the most obvious allusion is the overall movie itself. There is the unprovoked attack and subsequent battle which takes place in New York City. Scenes of people running down the street, followed by crumbling debris, is very reminiscent, of course, of 9/11. Those attacking do so indiscriminately, killing scores of men, women, and children. And they do so for no other reason than for subjugation. They do so for the simple reason that they are evil. But, as Nick Fury says to Loki, America says to terrorist, "You threatened my world with war. You might not be glad you did that." I'm Johnny Price, and this has been another of our Talking Head film analyses.